Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall. It's I, Darkspidey34. Hello and welcome.
Yes, welcome.
It is I, Darkspidey34. Here with me, I have Mark, back again.
Hey, it's good to be good to be back. What's it been since 2017?
Yeah,
since one of these?
Since the last El Presidente, actually.
Ooh.
So that's how we got to start measuring it, because the terms are getting shorter and shorter all the time.
And they keep getting better and better. But we're not here to talk about that.
It's all the same level of lizard people to me, actually. And speaking of lizard people... Hold on, actually. Yes. So, I am returning to complete Regeneration Part 3. And I'm going to be changing up how I'm doing the animation. This first began... Well, first off, I want to say I'm really fucking sorry to everyone. Because this would have been fine if I said, hey guys, I'm taking a break. But I just kind of stopped after that Rise of Skywalker trailer video I made. And then I just stopped making videos for like 2 years. So I want to say I'm sorry. Would have been fine if I said something, but I didn't. So I took a break without saying anything. Because I thought, I'll say something or I'll go back to it. Just never had the chance to. And there was, other stuff I was working on IRL. Not sure if I want to power level about that stuff yet. We'll see. You know what I've been working on.
People, especially in like the animation side of stuff, it's people have to take breaks for their personal life or this and that, and then it's just like you are still working on it, especially if you're still stuff you're thinking about, but not exactly full steam ahead. Yeah. So you don't really want to say hey, sorry, but
Yeah, I think the biggest problem I had was how do I progress a story where, and on the last episode, this is literally where it leaves off on a virus originating from a lab that crosses species that is a danger to a large population. How am I supposed to? And you know what fucked me up for the longest time when this COVID thing first happened? I was like...
Well, you spent the first half of just trying to get the rights because you're I came up, this is my idea.
So I remember when the lab leak theory hit, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I remember seeing a news report, I think it was on MSNBC, where... I forget. I think it was Chris Hayes. He literally said, this theory is like it came out of a comic book. And I'm like, and of course, the implications of that.
We all saw that tweet about, the Green Goblin's back. And so it even further cemented that, this is real.
Think, Parker. Think. So that actually was kind of a weird creative issue for me. Because it's that's what the episode was going to be about. Kind of. It was going to be so I had to sort of rework it. It's still going to kind of be that. And it's going to seem, oh, wow, it's topical. You guys, I set it up in the previous episode. They went to a lab. They're going to go to a lab to work on cross-species genetics. It's literally what the episode leaves off on. And a lot of people are going to be in danger because of what they worked on in that lab.
Yes, it is cross-species with a bat. And what was the other animal?
Spiders?
The wet lab in...
Octopus. I experimented by just filming myself doing stuff, walking around, making gestures, and then selecting all the frames from the video footage, and then sort of measuring out where my gestures were at what frame. So at frame 7, I'm here. At frame 20, I'm here, and blah, 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 blah. So I just basically kind of rotoscoped myself in Lego form and just animated that while keeping track of those frames. And I put it through, and I forgot to save that video, but it made it look like it was real. This is the look I was going for, because typically it would be 12 frames per second. That's what I've been doing for 12 years now. But I finally upped it up. I'm like, okay, it looks like it's really actually real.
Yeah.
And then Blender attracted me a lot because I saw a lot of videos being recommended to me about the software. I saw some other Lego animators that I've known actually transition over to that. I saw some of the stuff that they were making and the tutorials some of the other animators had. I watched some of Corridor Crew's video about visual effects, and I just kind of got sucked into that for the better part of last year. So I decided to make the plunge to like integrate Blender into the production process of the show, and with it, I'm able to do things I was never able to do before. Because like if I need to like huge elaborate sets, that would cost me a lot.
And it's like way easier to rig up too, especially like if someone's swinging around, you can actually have like him like attached to it, and like frame by frame, not have to like keep moving it with your hand. Like
there are a lot of like workarounds to try and make it look like Spidey's actually swinging around. And I was always sort of notoriously bad at exterior sets. Just trying to make the walls of the set not appear. You could clearly see where the set ended. Interiors, I was pretty good with that, but exteriors, making an actual convincing outdoor environment was always hard to do.
Well, it is kind of hard to do with, the pieces themselves too, because like that's the whole you can make a building really convincing, but like the trees and outside the little grass like flat blocks and like the weird trees that just kind of come up in like little pieces.
Yeah, it's like layers. What do I do for this layer? What do I do for this layer? What do I do for this layer way in the back? And it's like, whatever. I'll just get a giant Bristol board, paint it blue, and just say that's the sky.
Right.
And you can clearly tell that it was just a piece of Bristol board, which I have a lot of. Still have a lot of it.
Green screens too sometimes, because those blocks are really reflective, and like that green will bleed over. It's hard to chroma key it out.
Yeah. So with Blender, I can just make an entire environment, and the only real like expense I'm having that I'm running into when it comes to it is hardware, because it's kind of rough. So I've been trying to look for like ways around not having to tax my hardware, because it's not. So
once you get into the rendering time, it's you realize why these
render
like anyone doing even like low level animation stuff is like, this took like 17 hours or something to render, and it crashed 3 times in the middle, and that's why the video was late, guys.
Yeah, it took me. What I've been doing is I've been reanimating scenes I already filmed in stop motion, and it took me 9 hours to render a 5-second shot.
Wow.
And I just had it going while I was at work. I was just checking on it every now and again.
Do you what percent is your computer is it getting maxed out while it's doing that? Is it really hardware intensive?
The GPU is maxed out because I have it set to that. I'm not really getting much performance issues with it.
Okay.
It just takes a while.
Yeah.
So the animation is primarily going to be done in Blender. I think that's the most efficient way to get it done. The 2 render engines that it comes in default is Eevee and Cycles. Eevee rendering animation pretty fast. That same animation at I think it was 5 seconds would have took me maybe about maybe 20 minutes tops.
Really?
Yeah, maybe not even that. But Eevee is fine if I was going for a PlayStation 4 Lego game cutscene, which is fine, but that's not what the show started off as. It started off as actual images that were taken. So I want to sort of replicate that look, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure it looks like an actual image. And I got some examples to show you here.
I'm still pushing for you to just make almost like a machinima style video inside the Star Wars Lego games.
Ooh.
And just kind of do it old school, 2009.
Oh,
kind of where people were making Halo machinimas, but you're doing you just have the Anakin Lego, and it's I'm Spider-Man, Peter Parker. What are you doing? And just obviously talking in game, you can still see him collecting the bits and stuff accidentally.
Genius, because it really does look like the Lego games. Yeah, and that's actually a scene from the episode. Just that shot there. So what that background is, actually, hopefully you can see my cursor here, is that is a flat 2D plane that I exported as a PNG, and all of this stuff in the foreground is actual 3D objects.
Oh, wow.
So this plane is actually emitting light that you can actually see reflected here on the surface. And it's easier to render. That's why I did it, because if I had all this stuff as actual objects, it would just take forever to actually get an animation out, as opposed to kind of forever. And it's just easier to work with when I'm just moving stuff around. And what I would do, I would just make like 2 copies of the project file and just copy and paste the camera movements over, so I can get a shot of this in the background at a different angle, export that as a flat plane, and just drop that into the other project file so I can have that angle, and I have the duplicated camera angles and everything. And I can even duplicate the camera movements in the scene. And this was actually the last shot of the previous episode, so it's one of the things I had to re-render. Mm-hmm. And what was fun about that is actually like counting the pegs of where everything was in the previous position. Just seeing it, a set that I kind of demolished years ago, and recreating it and being able to move around it.
Oh, yeah.
I was weird, man. It was really cool. And then lighting everything in a way that I wasn't able to, because I felt like I wasn't able to create what I really wanted to.
New technology always helps motivate people, because, it kind of pushed the boundaries of what you thought was possible before.
Here's a quick walking animation. So I rigged those characters up. And I have to do that for every character. I have to rig them up to a Mecha Bricks. I think it's called Mecha Bricks. I forget the actual name of the rig, but it's one specially designed for Legos. There's a couple of them out there that anyone can use, so it is pretty good. So you can kind of see the feet are sliding, because I just have the legs moving.
Oh yeah, they're not like clicking into like the blocks. I mean,
yeah, and I'm not gonna have any surfaces with those.
Yeah.
Legs. It's way easier to actually animate them walking physically in this program.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That was the hardest part, is making them, because like they're not made for animation. Like they're like you have to like make them do like these like exaggerated like that picture where the guy's skipping 3 steps to like go up, something like these big long like either long or like short like little tip tap steps to like click into the bricks to like hold them still so you can take the next picture.
Yeah, it's way easier physically than in this program, because it's sort of like, what are you going for? How do you make this thing look like weight? What would the weight be? And then I started asking myself a lot of funny questions like, wait a minute, what am I trying to replicate here? Am I trying to replicate my own animation, or am I trying to take the images I see in my head when I think of a scene and put it out there? Because this is what I see in my head initially, and then there's the end result, which is not what I see, but it's like, what am I actually trying to bring to life here? And I sort of had to ask myself, do I want to just do this in 15 frames, which is higher than 12, but lower than 30. But 30 is so smooth. Like, it looks like they are... Oh, God, please no. What's happening? Okay.
Yeah, it looks slick.
So that's just the major sort of development, change, update, revamp. So it's sort of making things take longer, because I'm just sort of relearning everything again. But I kind of know it too.
When video game companies have been like making a video game for a long time, it's like, well, PS4 came out, gotta make it different, gotta remake the game on a different engine, don't work for the PS4.
And I envy you. I forfeit any right to make fun of any product that takes more than like a year to come out. I can't mock them anymore.
Yeah.
I can't make fun of Star Citizen. I can't make fun of Valve. I can't make fun of...
Well, you still can, because there are still other people doing it that get it done. I don't know, that's a little different, because that's like more just bad, like, business running. You're not running a business. You're yourself. Like, they just have weird...
This is not a business. Full disclosure.
Yeah, I'm not getting paid.
This is not a business. Maybe something. I don't know what. Maybe something one day I can repay all of you guys. Because you, Sam, and Michelle have been very helpful. Like, I could not get any of this
you already
shit
made
done.
Lego me. How can that's already been you've already paid your dues.
So I just really appreciate you guys being there for me. I also like to thank you guys for sticking with me. I appreciate you guys sticking with me there. I've been really trying to make a product that you guys would like, and I really wanted to make it look like it used to. You've been following this physical Lego for so long, and it is the same Lego piece, because why would I change it?
Right.
So, and it's like, what is this thing now? So I really had to make it look real. And I feel like I'm becoming George Lucas, but I don't care. And I think I want to be. If there's anyone I want to be to a certain point, it's probably George Lucas, which is a bit like, I'm not on that level, but I feel that like, ooh, what's this new technology? Ooh, this makes everything so much. Ooh, I can do. Oh, it's like I'm making a painting, and that's how he described it. He described it like making a painting, and it's like, oh yeah, I do that. It is like that. Oh, this is. Oh.
But I'll go back and say the reason why George Lucas failed wasn't because of just him alone. It was business. No, not enough people told him, no, George, I know you like doing the new painting thing, but listen, you're getting too crazy out there.
Yeah.
Like, he's famously not having enough people tell him no, and just like had a bunch of like yes men be like, oh, it's Star Wars man. Star Wars man knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm not. I got a lot of mixed feelings about certain interpretations that went on during the production of those movies. I guess. Well, I don't know if I should even change the subject here, but I think that's all I really wanted to think. I know it doesn't feel like there's much, but it's just all I can really say is that I've opened a new. What was that Obi-Wan Kenobi quote? You've entered a new world of possible. I don't know. Fuck. That one. I went to never watch Star Wars again. No, that's not the right. So, slight technical issue. I fixed it because I'm a genius, obviously. So, what I was going to say before Rich Evans sabotaged my setup here was that I thought, collectively, not just Mike Sokoska, but I think collectively a lot of people should go back and watch the behind-the-scenes footage again. Because there's a lot of things I learned from that I didn't know. Actually, one example that just came to mind for me was during the production of The Phantom Menace, they actually ran into like a storm, like the actual one in the movie that actually happened.
Oh wow!
And it destroyed all of the pod racing sets, everything was fucking destroyed. I recall one of the producers going, "Yeah, Liam lost his wig. Liam lost his beard. We don't know where Liam's beard is." And George is like, "Yeah, happened again. Just the same thing happened in '76. Same thing, same deal." So it's like I scarcely recalled that happening, but it's on the behind the scenes stuff, the same one that everyone likes to make fun of, but everyone leaves that part out. I just wonder how many people actually watched the full context, and it kind of freaked me out a bit. So I went and I watched Attack of the Clones, which I hadn't seen in a while, and there was they fucking went to North Africa to film a lot of the Tatooine scenes again. The environment that they were in for the homestead, the Lars Moisture Farm, that was pretty risky and ballsy because the cameras that they actually used for Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, those were experimental digital cameras Sony made for those movies. So taking it out to a desert after what happened in The Phantom Menace, which used film, but taking that out again to a desert was pretty fucking ballsy of George. So there's even a picture of him standing next to the camera. Actually, you know what? It's such a cool. There we go. That's it. I have seen that picture of him. Bro, he looks straight up 6 feet tall in this picture. There we go. No film. Film? No film. Film? No film. 360 degrees. Bruh. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Bruh.
What is that?
I don't know. Oh man. I'm at Kotaku. How did I get here? This is all your fault.
Oh. That's right. It's really like a commercial or something. He turns into it.
Oh yeah. This is, well... Oh, what is this, though? Bruh. He's become the technology. Dude, that morph effect must have been, like, fucking crazy to do back then. Holy shit. What is he advertising here?
There's so many frames in that you could just... Like, the guy making that had to have laid it down, like, okay, this is gonna look bad.
Oh my god. Oh, so he was always investing in this kind of technology, even back then. Oh man, that must have pissed a lot of people.
Yeah, turn my head into the camera.
Sheesh. So I don't mean to, like, call everyone else out on being, like, kind of off about something, because, you know, mistakes were made, obviously, but it is new technology. Mistakes are going to be made, and we've come so far since then. But if it wasn't for the mistakes that George Lucas made, insofar as, well, I think something went wrong if, you know, this is how people responded to it, but another thing that kind of fucked me up was I actually discovered that there are more location shoots for the prequels than the OT. But that's kind of a tricky, fucky way to frame it because, you know, they didn't really go to that many locations in the OT. They were just filming in a studio.
Right.
With a whole set and everything. So, but technically they did go to more locations in the prequels than the OT. But that's a tricky one. People will fuck with you with that one. But I do think that there needs to be some not for that. Some recognition for this. This is fucking ballsy, man. Because if that camera fucking breaks, if like it gets corrupted because sand got into it or some shit, man, I don't want to be there when that happens, man. And what else? Oh yeah, Yoda. This is a controversial one. Yoda. What was a cool bit of a scene was when they had a prototype for Yoda's walk cycle, and George was like, "It sucks. He's moving too fast. He's moving too fast." I'm like, well, wait, what? Wouldn't he want him to move faster or something? Because he's gonna be moving fast later in the movie. But then I'm like, oh no, he's trying to like replicate Frank Oz's movements. Yeah. And they just went through like the entire ordeal of how they were trying to replicate the puppet and trying to reinterpret what the character is as an actual organism. And it sort of reminded me of what I was going through with reanimating all the stuff here. It's like, am I trying to interpret my own stop motion, or am I trying to bring what I see in my head to life? And like, which is going to be more palatable for an audience? And that's why it was so divisive, because people are like, yes, that's what, is it? And other people are like, it's not what I see in my head. I just want the puppet back. But he was trying to compromise by having him move like an old little frog thing. And I think that's why he wanted to slow the walk cycle down. I remember like that was a whole thing when they were working on Yoda. And then it finally clicked for me when I rewatched the Dooku Yoda fight scene, because that fight scene opens up with Yoda like, you hear him entering the room and he's got the cane and all that stuff, and you finally see him. It's like, oh, okay, so he's just fucking weak, but the Force makes him go. Then at the end of the fight, he's like, he's just walking over to Anakin and Obi-Wan after they got their ass kicked. And I'm like, oh, I think I get it. Okay. Yeah, I guess that wasn't so bad.
I still would like to see Frank Oz puppet that fight scene.
Yes. Maybe a better compromise. I don't know, just going from the puppet to the CG.
Yeah.
Or just the puppet, and you got like...
No, I want to see him do the flips and all that.
As Frank Oz? Yeah. So it's sort of like the Muppet fight scenes or something? Yeah. And you know the Lego Yoda scream, that's actually from that fight scene. They took the...
Oh, really?
Yeah, they took a bit of the audio from that fight scene. They put it in the video game. So if you actually watch the fight scene, you hear him going...
What's he doing? Like swinging at him? Or
yeah, he's jumping around and screaming. If you ever want to hear Yoda scream, it's in that fight scene.
I know how to make Yoda scream. You just poke him real hard.
Cock and ball torture. Yeah, so I think that... And once again, I know that a lot of people don't really like that fight scene and hate everything that they hate everything about it. But I made a discovery, and I'm like, okay, I think I see what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, it looks. I see that too. I just think the worst part about it is that it's Dooku, who's also an older kind of guy, trying to fight something that isn't there.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to like choreograph. Like, okay, here comes this little guy, and he's flipping everywhere.
Yeah. I think they did a better job with Palpatine and Yoda, because I think they were both CG for some of those shots. I couldn't tell, to be honest, but it looked like they were more coordinated when they were fighting each other, especially when they're rising up into the Senate room. It just felt like, I don't know, they were probably both CG in that shot, but it looked like, okay, that's how they do it.
Yeah, and it was more like they were throwing stuff at each other.
Yeah,
they weren't like lightsaber and
yeah. So I would. Don't take my word for it. Go watch the scene again if you're watching this, and maybe you'll feel differently. Maybe you'll feel the same. But it's all up for interpretation. It's not, super objective all the time.
Yeah. I
know there's some people out there that try to make it like that, but you live by objectivity, you die by objectivity. So, yeah. Sorry, I wanted to talk about the Matrix actually, but I got caught up in that slight vindictive thing I had. And I had more examples, but I think I'll drop it for now. Maybe I'll make a video about it because I wanted to actually show actual like visual examples. Because it worried me how much of an effect that this perception was having on the way newer films are made, as if they can sort of get away with doing everything that George Lucas was accused of.
Mm-hmm.
But since those movies are viewed as okay, at the very least okay, it kind of doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of thought to myself, does this really even matter if we can't even tell the difference, and all it just comes down to is whether or not the movie is good or bad? Because I kind of feel like you can have a whole bunch of green screens and CGI and all that stuff, but if the movie's good...
There's actually kind of a new argument coming out, kind of along the same veins, where there's a new God of War game coming out, and there's like this clip of people being like, wow, people making this game are reusing assets. Look, he pushes the canoe and gets in it the same way in the last game. Is this what we were going to expect? It's like, you're the reason why these games get like crunched so hard to perfection. And like the deadlines get pushed like, oh, they're going to know us we're using the same boat push animation. It's like, it's fine. It works. Like, it looks different. He's in different armor. He's doing, like, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, do we have to like reinvent the character's run cycle, or like, in some games too, or like movies or whatever, it's like, well, he's gotta have a different outfit. Let's like put some weird glowy bits, and he's got like he's got one sleeve is ripped off now, and he's got a new shirt on. It's like, that's how this is the sequel version of this character.
Yeah, and if you change too little, and also
it's like, you need to look different. You can't be wearing the same stuff for the game cover or the poster. He's got a different outfit. People like different outfits.
Yeah. It's got to be character and like plot informed. If so, then I'm more likely to sort of go okay. But if it's sort of like arbitrary, and even at worst they retcon it, like, oh no, it always looked like that.
Mm-hmm.
What? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Halo 4. Yeah, we're not going to talk about it.
No, we're going to talk about how Neo looks different in this movie. What happened to Neo?
Oh yeah, no, I like the way, and this is probably going to sound like such a Reddit tier opinion, but I love the way the movie looks.
Yeah.
It looks like it's not like fucking rain and desaturated and shit, which was fine for the time, but Chuck with Matrix 4. Oh really? I didn't know I missed 10 things. I kind of don't fucking care. Do fucking Kino check? Fuck yeah, dude. That's my channel. This is gonna be fucking loud, actually. Oh no, Liberty Mutual. Oh, I hate quirky commercials. I hate quirky commercials that don't even load properly because OBS. Oh wait, you got your Kino check? Hold on. You got your Kino check? Come on.
Oh. No, sorry.
Oi, you got your Kino license? Not now, Susan. I don't want your free shit.
This is an A24 film. You can't come on here without your Kino check.
Oh, sorry. Is this in CinemaScope? No, thank you. Fucking loser. I only watch things filmed on a kinograph, actually. This might actually cause OBS to crash. Yeah, so are people mad that he just looks like Keanu?
I mean,
and that he doesn't.
That's just him, though. I mean, you can't be mad at him for looking like Keanu. Gotta give him props for using the song.
Yeah. That's the little girl at the end of Matrix Revolutions.
Oh, really?
The little Indian girl who had to leave her parents behind because they're programmed. She's a program. Uh-oh, we got danger haze alert.
I will say, I watched this and the Spider-Man trailer back to back, and this made me think about like Doctor Strange, because he kind of looks like him and is doing this, mind realm bending stuff.
Yeah. I love this realm of early 2000s nostalgia pandering because for me, I'm like, all these older millennials and their stupid 90s nostalgia. Can't you guys just grow the fuck up? I mean, for fuck's sake, I don't care about the Wiz. I don't care about Captain Inward and the Inward Gang, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't care. I'm sure it's fine. But I can't help but like get a twinge of something here now.
Yeah, like the part
it's
where
my nostalgia.
Like that scene when they were in the hallway, like getting chased by the guys in suits and they were like glitching around.
Yeah.
Like that's just like, oh yeah, this is a Matrix movie, baby.
Yeah. But I'm excited for the soundtrack. I don't know if Don Davis is going to be doing the soundtrack for this. I'm not really doing anything else, but that's what I'm excited for. Is that very underrated sound? Wait. Hold on. Who the fuck is Lana? I'm a bit out of the loop. Who the fuck is Lana?
It's the guy's daughter.
Who's Lana? Huh? Who's Lana? Oh, honey, that's my coworker. She was just giving me a ride. I mean, a ride to work. Lana Rhodes? She directing movies now? Oh, she already was. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, pretty based and red pilled.
So is it just one of the Wachowskis that does it now?
I think so. No.
Lana?
Well, yeah.
Well, it says based on characters by the Wachowskis.
Based. I didn't even see that there. Yeah. Once again, if I cross a line, just let me know so I can fucking land speed over that line and into
so I can increase the gas.
Fuck yeah. Get more gas. Pump that gas in and keep pumping in more gas. Keep pumping in more gas.
More gas.
Thank you, Jesus.
Keep pumping it and pumping more and more gas.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. I'm excited for the soundtrack because Don Davis, very underrated soundtrack. I love that.
I do hope they put in some nice, 90s techno thrown in there.
Sorry. I'm really excited. I don't know if he's doing the soundtrack. Let me check. No! Don Davis isn't doing the soundtrack.
Do you recognize them?
Yeah, they did it for their previous movies. It wasn't bad. Man, there goes my dopamine hit. I'm fucking bummed now. Dude, fuck everything. Fuck this. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I'm not excited for the conversation. It's going to be about the movie, around the movie, if you catch my drift.
Meh.
I'm not excited. Well, nah, I'm excited for it. It should be fun. Seeing people, internet fighting each other. You're supposed to like it. No, you're supposed to hate it. Yes, fight. Fight over this bullshit.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Oh, who's they, Mark? They?
The lizard.
Them? They? Was? Okay. I'm anti-noun.
You're anti?
I'm anti-noun. I'm not pronoun. And if you want to know my actual feelings on the election, hot take here. I got to make sure this thing... Hello, is this thing on? Hello? I think the entire election was a temporal pincer movement. You have blue, the Democrats, going backwards, red, Republicans going forward through the event. You had the Democrats, that's what the lady with the blonde braids, she had a container that had the algorithm in there. Anyone who knew the contents of that container could not leave that building. So the reason why you can't find the lady with the blonde braids pulling out that fucking container on that election footage tape is because she's fucking dead. They killed her. Or she killed herself. I don't know what fucking happened. She's gone.
Hillary killed her with that green egg she spat out.
Exactly. And the footage that you actually see from the counting camera footage is actually reversed because they're all in reverse. They play it forward to trick you into thinking that it's going in real time. Whole thing was a temporal pincer movement. Okay? It's true. I believe it. Unironically.
Yeah.
Did you see 10? Well, yeah. I actually haven't watched the Spider-Man trailer.
You haven't?
No, in fact, I haven't watched any of the MCU Spider-Man movies at all.
Really?
Yeah. Because I kind of don't give a fuck about Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Sorry, can I say that? Sorry. It's not like I think the movies are bad or anything. I'm sure they're fine. Mm-hmm. It's just, the things I heard about and the things that I've seen and understand about, the way they interpret this character and this world, it doesn't really seem like Spider-Man anymore to me. You know? And I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's serviceable and effective at what it does, but it just doesn't look like Spider-Man to me. So I'm kind of
don't like Iron Man, Spider-Man.
If this was just Miles Morales, I guess that'd be fine. How you interpret a character, I feel like this is pretty. Once again, I haven't seen the movies, but just based off of what I understand about it, I'm like, I don't know, guys. Kind of not Spider-Man anymore. Kind of don't know what the point is.
You just don't like that he's British.
No, well, okay. Let me put it to you this way. I did give enough of a fuck about Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man to go see it and to go see the second one. And I knew the second one was not going to be good when I went to go see it. In theaters, by the way. In fucking theaters. And it made me so mad I couldn't stop talking about it for like 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. But the reason why I was so mad at it was because it had like a core foundation to work with, and it just kept fumbling the ball constantly. So no more Toby stuff. At the time, I was like, no more Toby stuff. Okay, I can go with this one. And the more I learned about what they were going to do with this version of the character, the more intrigued I became with it. Because it's like, oh, this is sort of more like the comic book. It's sort of more, okay, they're doing things differently here. The music is different. The costume is different. The sets, the production design, everything is different. But, the movie was kind of okay. And then the second one was just straight up fucking shit. So it just made me mad because it's like, you got so much here that it could have, but you fucked it up. But at this point, I just feel like Marvel, and this is not a unique take at all, but I just feel like they have this very consistent layer of competency over everything. Mm-hmm. So nothing is like too awful compared to some previous interpretation, but nothing really kind of stands out all too much. Certain things do here and there. There's some exceptions, but just overall very competent level of quality all across the board. But but when you look at anything outside of Disney, it's like whatever fucking sticks. Whatever, what do we got? Okay, do it like this. Music's gonna be like this. The world's gonna look like this. Music, this. Actor is he's gonna have a funny fucking accent. He's gonna be licking his lips all the time. Go, do it. He's got a raspy cancer voice. Go, whatever, just do whatever. Mm-hmm. And to this day, we're still talking about it. People still quote the fucking Joker. Both Jokers. I don't know how Warner Brothers does it, or how anyone does it, but the way every other studio interprets the material always sort of stands out to me more than the way Marvel does, generally speaking. I'd say that it's bad, that liking it's bad, or that it's not real cinema. That's not real cinema. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that now. I said that 5 years ago. But what I'm saying now is, kind of don't care. Yeah. And I kind of, I don't know. I just sort of feel like they're encroaching on the early 2000s nostalgia currently now. Oh, yeah. That's why we got Kenobi. Some of The Mandalorian was that too. Some of Matrix 4 is kind of that too. But in this particular instance, I have to ask myself, okay, why aren't we doing this character? Why are we doing that character? And the answer that I get is, oh, we've already seen that before. We've already done that before. We already got the Green Goblin. We already got Doc Ock. We don't need to do it again. And then, okay, but what they do is tied up with Tony Stark constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do it, it's the same fucking character that we all know and love, because what Sam Raimi and Alan Sargent and everyone who worked on those movies, Laura Zinskin, what they were trying to do stood out. And that's why Toby stands out so much after all these years, because he's not really comic accurate so much in the beginning, but they still build a solid foundation that is central to the character and character motivations. And they still what they supplement for him being okay. Here's a good example. Peter Parker is a giant asshole in the comics in the beginning. He's kind of a spaz, but the first thing he does in Amazing Fantasy number 15 is he tries to ask a girl out. Does Tobey Maguire do that? No. He's like, well, hey, MJ. And he's not even talking to her. She's like 50 feet away. He's like practicing talking to her. It's really cringe. But, they do something different with the character in order to build up something that you're going to remember. But it's all focused on him. There is no larger universe. We're just going to focus on this movie. And hopefully you guys like this movie. Please like this movie. To quote Sam Raimi, literally. Please like this movie. And they did that consistently. Spider-Man 3. How would they go on this? Martin Scorsese actually called the Raimi film cinema.
Really?
So, dig on this. So, not that I care or anything, but yeah. So I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings about them taking this and like, this is ours now. Mm-hmm. Because at least with that interpretation of Peter Parker, I can go, okay, you know what? You can have that version. You can have the Tony Stark, Iron Man Jr.'s. You can have that. I'll just take mine. And you have this, I'll have mine. And then they go, no, that's going to be mine now. Mm-hmm. Because this is what I'm afraid of. Actually, I have an actual... Because we just had so many examples of this shit going wrong before, haven't we? Like, it's been 20 years later. It's been 30 years later. And your favorite hero is a fucking failure. He sucks. You suck for liking it. Give me money. Oh, wow. That's so interesting. Isn't that interesting? I've never seen that before. It's so interesting. Every time they do it, it gets more interesting. I love it, dude. And you know what? I'm not too crazy about this idea that The Last Jedi was some, like, auteur movie. It kind of wasn't. It was just pretty predictable. They just did the opposite of what you thought that they would do, and then they just did it anyway. Mm. It's not really all that. Nah. It's not really all that. Nah. Sorry, I'm trying to organize my thoughts a bit better here, because this is what I was afraid of, actually. I was trying not to do this so many times when I was actually practicing for this, because I've been holding on to thoughts I've been having for like 2 or 3 years now.
Oh, I bet.
And it's every flow. What the fuck is this? What am I doing here? What is this? What the fuck is this? Parker. Allow me, Parker. You know what was really cool? Sorry, one last digression about this movie. On The Amazing Spider-Man, they actually had an entire like street block or so where they could just film and rearrange stuff. They had like it was like Blade Runner. They had a whole environment to work with. And they did a lot of wire work with Spider-Man when he was swinging. They actually had the stunt double like on wires and like, hey, just pretend you're web slinging, okay? And it was pretty dangerous, but it looked real. It looked like, oh, okay, so it's not. I thought it was cool because this movie gets a lot of crap for having too much CG, and it has a lot of practical effects in it. No one gives a fuck because it was 2012 and it was cool to hate. This is what they're gonna do. I guess this isn't too bad. This is what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be dun 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 bam 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 bam. We're so sad, yeah. Rip. He's with Harry now, and there's an elephant in the background. What the fuck is that? Who made this? Yeah, let's actually watch the fucking Spider-Man trailer. I'm sorry. Because I was avoiding it because I just, by principle, I was kind of against it. Because I'm kind of a fuddy-duddy that way. I realized I was just like being no fun. But I at least wanted to express how I felt. Like why I felt like, you know, I felt the way that I did. Because I don't want it to encroach on, you know, something special. Because once again, we've had so many examples of where that just went wrong. With Star Wars, 3 times in Star Wars. Geez, oh gosh, which one is it? I'm sorry.
I would just type in trailer via YouTube.
Trailer. Am I gonna get a quirky ad?
It says 5
Tortellini. Oh my god, they knew an Italian was in here. Oh wow, thanks Google. That's so fucking prejudiced, dude. You got me. They got me a little bit at the end there.
Alfred Molina always gets you.
I think once again, they're just trying to get me because they already are working on something that was pre-established, but not something that they made important. You know, because once again, the people who made Spider-Man 2, they made Spider-Man 2 great. It's not just having something from Spider-Man 2 in a different movie. You know, we've seen the same thing with Star Wars. It's not just, if you just take George Lucas out of the picture, then we can make it work. Or if you take out, you know, Lawrence.
Or just because it has an X-Wing in it, or just because it's got, you know, the lightsabers doesn't always make it work.
Yeah, you need to have. I don't know, man. I don't have the secret to like making a great fucking movie. You know, I just see great movies or movies that attempt to be great but fail. And I'm like, I'd rather have that than movies that are just like, let's just do it all the same over and over again. You'll pay for it. You'll watch it. We'll just put the thing in there that you remember. You go and watch it.
Yeah, and they're just kind of just hitting beats.
Yeah, and that's what I'm also concerned with Kenobi. If I still have any attachment to Star Wars at this point, and I know when that trailer comes out, it's gonna get to me a bit because I have the prequels left an imprint on my still burgeoning brain, and so anything that reminds me of it will trigger that, and I'll go, but it's not that, it's something else, and I have to remember that. I don't want to fall into the same trap that older millennial fans and younger Gen X fans did when these new movies came out. And I almost feel like everyone's resetting the clock back to like 2015 or even like 2012. It's like, no, it's good now. No, it's good now. You know, Luke, you see Luke in Mandalorian? No, it's gone. Everything's good now. Like, no, the movie still exists. The issue is still present. He's going to become the green titty monster milk addict in the future. That doesn't change that. Did you forget that? I don't know. I just feel like everyone wants Star Wars to be good again. We're just willing to go, no, everything's good now. And I think that's what got us trapped with The Force Awakens. You know, everyone was like, no, it's good now. George Lucas is gone. You know, he can't hurt us anymore. And he's gone. Oops.
Now we want him back.
Yeah. What kind of frustrates me about the discussion about The Force Awakens, really anything about the sequel trilogy, is that anything that anyone found interesting was actually George Lucas's idea originally for the sequel trilogy. Just how everything got there was different. And I don't have the sources in front of me now, so forgive me, but there's a lot of interviews from Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams and George Lucas that, you know, they changed a lot from what he originally wanted. They also, like, everyone kind of reframed it to make it look like what they did and what George wanted was, like, radically different insofar as, like, the very basics of having a female protagonist. That was George's idea. Having them be young. You know, everyone sort of made it seem like he wanted kids again, but that's not really what he meant. He meant, like, the ages that we see on the screen. The real fundamental differences was, like, the connective tissue between all those elements at play. And that's why everything just resets back to Empire, Rebels again. And that's not what he wanted. Or at least he probably wanted something a bit more, different than that. Because the prequels were at least different.
Yeah.
And if anyone else made the prequels, that's basically what we would have gotten. We would have gotten the sequel trilogy as the prequels. So, and once again, I'm not going to call the prequels like perfect, flawless, great movies, but I've come back around on them a bit more because I understand what they try to accomplish. And I thought I was on board with so many other people when it came to the issues with those movies. Mm-hmm. And then everyone just decided no, it's not really an issue anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay. So having a whiny antagonist who's evil for no reasons, that's bad, right? No, that's interesting. I'm like, what? I thought we were supposed to hate that, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Just anything that was interesting was either filled in by, at the time, back in 2015, it was our imagination or it was George Lucas again. And I felt really bad, because I was part of that. And I realized okay, maybe that narrative has some plot holes in it a bit. But I've made my feelings known about the sequel trilogy a couple of times here and there. Not too crazy about it. How do you feel about it, Mark?
I definitely don't like that they definitely, just like I said, trying to hit all the beats that people like, oh yeah, they need the Empire. They need they got a big laser weapon. There's got to be it would have been nicer if there was something other, another threat that they were going after. Not just Empire's still here. They're still big. They're still the biggest threat to the galaxy, even though they're a tenth of their force now.
Yeah. And it's just not, and it's not really all that fun to watch. I mean, it's fine the first time you watch it because it's the novelty of it all, but doesn't really stick with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people have sort of came back around to the prequels, because a lot of people want to say nostalgia, and I'm completely I'm there. That's probably me. That's probably my nostalgia. However, anything I do say that's positive, I want to make sure that can at least be verified with going back and watching the movie and seeing if that's there.
Right.
Because, for example, the child-sized helmet in the Naboo Star fighter pilot cockpit. Remember that?
I think
Anakin has a
helmet
that's adult or kid-sized.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went back and watched The Phantom Menace, and I noticed, oh, that's actually too big for him.
Yeah.
Is that a problem now because someone pointed out? Does it stop being a problem because the new movies exist? Does it stop being a problem because of my nostalgia? That's an example.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make this is a mistake in the movie. Actually, no, I went back and watched the movie. It's not really a mistake. It's fine. Yeah. But is that my nostalgia that made me do it? Probably. But the claim, hopefully itself can be verified. And it's my nostalgia. It could be. I could be blinded by it, but I at least don't want to fall into the same trap as the generation prior to us.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, technically it's the same generation, but we're kind of on the ass end of the generation anyway. So it's
we're pretty near the edge.
Yeah, we're pretty close to being fucking Zoomers actually. But yeah, that's a shame. So I'm not looking forward to us resetting the clock there. You just, that's good. That's good. I don't know. I'm afraid of what they're gonna do with Kenobi.
I haven't really even heard much about it.
Yeah, they just cast a young Leia Organa, a 10-year-old Leia Organa. So I'm not sure how the fuck why she needs to be in this at all, because he's with Luke. Anything, 10-year-old Luke. Why 10-year-old Leia? What the fuck she got to do with anything? But then I remembered Kylo's name. What's Kylo's real name? His birth name.
Wow.
It's Ben.
Oh, that's right.
Why the fuck is his name Ben? Who's Ben? Has Ben? What's Ben? Ben is Obi-Wan's stupid made-up name.
Mm-hmm.
So why the fuck is Kylo? Why is that his name? Why isn't his name Anakin or whatever? Or Bail after Leia's father? or adoptive father, sorry, or Jason, which was Han Solo's father in the expanded EU stuff that we don't care about anymore. I think they just named him Ben because that's a...
When they call him Duo. Like, because
Solo Duo. Yeah, I will be the opposite of you. I will have friends.
That's why you get the 2 bits come up the ends of his lightsaber. I got 2 lightsabers technically, but they're 1.
But I think they're just... Well, at first I thought they were just trying to have some stupid OT reference in there, but I think they were planning on having like Obi-Wan be like very important to Leia, but she wasn't really. She didn't even know his name, really. Or she knew his name, she didn't know him like that. She knew Bail like that, and he gets vaporized on Alderaan. You want to name your son after him or anything? Oh, okay, sure. Well, what about Anakin? You sack. Okay, no, okay, sure, fine. Name him Ben, the name that Obi-Wan never even really had. So they're probably going to contrive some adventure where her and Obi-Wan are teaming up, and she's using the Force, but she forgets because a rock hits her in the head or something. And eventually, it's just going to... Oh, yeah, it was him? Oh, I'll name my only son after him. That makes sense. I don't know why Han would go along with it either. Because he definitely did not refer to Obi-Wan by his first name in the 2 hours that he knew him at all. Just old man, crazy old man, or whatever, crazy old man. It makes sense for Luke to name his son Ben.
You should have just named the kid Crazy Old Man.
Oh, yeah, Crazy Old Man Jr. But it would make sense if Luke named his son Ben, which he did in the expanded stuff. But we don't care about that anymore, so it doesn't exist. But we still have the name.
The sacred texts.
Exactly. Oh yeah, the EU is in the sacred text. Oh wow, that's genius. Ryan Johnson, you tricked me again. Holy fuck, that's genius. But they saved it at the end. Because that's what the sequel trilogy is. It's just the expanded universe, but sucks. Like every idea that they did was in the expanded universe, and the things that aren't good. Yeah. Because in the expanded universe, Han and Leia has a son that turns evil.
Oh yeah.
You have a Rey is basically Jaina Solo, who's the twin to Jason Solo. So they're siblings instead of whatever the fuck they are in the actual movie. And she's just like Jaina Solo. She's a pilot. She's got a fancy lightsaber. It's Luke has another temple. Emperor comes back. It's all kind of there, but just worse. So I don't understand what the point of going, haha, it's all gone. You don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. So yeah.
Just so they didn't have to pay anyone royalties.
Yeah. Oh. What? That might actually be it, actually. But they're still releasing like the Legends canon. So if you want to read that, just make sure it has the Legends on top of it. That's the one that's the one that's not real anymore. But yeah, I think Rey was actually... I know people don't like speculating about this shit anymore because it's all said and done. But I've become convinced that Rey was supposed to be Han and Leia's daughter.
Really?
Yeah, it just seems kind of obvious that she's just supposed to be Jaina Solo because she is Jaina Solo in almost every way, just like Kylo is Jason Solo in almost every way. But when Carrie Fisher died, they were like,
yeah.
Oh, fuck. And here's the video where I was actually convinced of that. I'm going to drop it there in the video. This is the link to the video that convinced me of that. But I already kind of thought that she was just a bad version of that character. In fact, hold on. Let me show you something. Surprise for you, actually. Take a look at that. An old EU novel that I had. I got that in 2005.
Dude, it's got Groot on it.
Oh, yeah, it's Groot. And it's got that awesome 2000s, let's make everything like you can feel.
Oh, yeah, embossed.
Yeah. But you notice something about the publisher. Look at the spine of the book. What does that say there?
Lucas Books.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm sorry. Nothing. It's right there next to the code there.
Del Rey.
Rey! Coincidence? I think not. I think that's pretty solid evidence there that JJ is fucking stupid and Kathleen Kennedy's a dumb fucking and Ryan Johnson is a fucking... But what was great about that book for me was that it gave me a timeline of the events of the Star Wars universe that I could follow. Because I didn't know how to look that stuff up back then. So it just gave me like a basic like blueprint. Actually, sorry.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah. So yeah, there's a timeline of the movies and the novels they had with it.
Oh wow.
And that's how I knew when everything took place, because I wasn't sure how long ago Phantom Menace was or anything like that. And the sequel trilogy is right there at 30 years or so. And just look at all the material that they had in between the time. And to be fair, the list of novels there, I think, goes back to like the 80s or so. But that's still a lot of material. And it has a map of the galaxy.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. I thought that was really...
It's a very, and like kind of 80s looking map. It, all like the newer stuff kind of looks like.
Yeah, I think it has the hyperlanes in there too, but I don't know. I always like to like map out each movie using that map.
Oh jeez. It's gonna be hard.
Or like
space travel stuff.
Yeah. But some of them, like Empire Strikes Back, is literally just like a chain of planets, and that's it.
Oh really?
Yeah. And here's the R.A. Salvador adaptation of Attack of the Clones that I told you about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him talking about.
Yeah. Also by Del Rey. Yeah, and you got to meet R.A. Salvador.
I did.
Tell the audience what that was like.
How old was I? Like 12, and I was sitting there in the back, of the bookstore, conveniently placed right next to some blacked out adult male man-on-man action magazines that had some very convenient black like plastic on them, but I could still see a bunch of men on a fishing boat. So that was a distraction going on. But yeah, he was talking like, I didn't even realize he had made Star Wars stuff, because I was only there for his like fantasy things. But yeah, he was talking about how he would never live down how he had to kill off Chewbacca. Yeah. I remember that a moon hit him. Yeah, he got hit by a moon.
Well, he was on a planet that was colliding with the moon or whatever.
Something like that.
And the Millennium Falcon couldn't get him in time. Which was fucking bullshit.
But yeah, like he was telling me how, or he was saying how like that was like a real big, like he felt a lot of weight while riding. Like, oh man, I gotta kill Chewie.
And I bet after Rise of Skywalker, he's like, man.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you were like super ecstatic to like meet him and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So he signed one of my first Drish books that I got. Some guy tried to bring in his swords to get him to sign them.
And he had like, how many did he have? Like,
he's got 2.
Just 2.
Mm-hmm.
He had like hold on, I got like 5 more.
I don't think so. But he asked me, he's like, hey, can I bring my swords? Just like, because
you're supposed to already have the sword, so you can't say no to it. It's like, it's sort of like you're filming someone. You're like, oh, you don't mind if I film you, right?
Mm-hmm. So. Well, I think he was just asking like because it was like a library or something. He was like, can I bring my swords in the library?
Oh, okay.
It was like a bookstore that was all going down.
That's right. There's no rule against swords. You just can't bring a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bring a real weapon in there.
Yeah, I want Mr. President to sign my gun.
If this happened like 1,000 years ago, sir, sorry. This is a no sword zone, actually. You're going to have to leave your sword at the checkpoint, please. Roloff, please.
What about Conan the Librarian? Or do you even know the Dewey Decimal System? He cuts that guy in half.
And that was it, right?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, they're a little overdue.
Yeah, well, I actually haven't read this. I got it like 7, 8 years ago.
Which book is it?
It's Attack of the Clones.
It's just Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, you just had to.
And it's just based on the movie, right?
Yeah. That's really interesting. Speaking of Attack of the Clones, and I'm not sure how long you want to go here because we've been at it for.
I'm good to go. Whenever.
Okay. Well, I may just have just a couple things to wrap up here.
No, I'm good to keep going for whatever you want to do, buddy.
All right, sweet. I actually I haven't read this yet, but I did stumble upon an interesting read of Anakin and Padme's romance. I still think it needs a lot of work insofar as how it was executed. I actually tend to agree with Red Letter Media when it, after maybe the first couple of scenes, they should have just started, fucking each other. Because I mean, come on, it's Hayden Christensen, Natalie Portman. I mean, God, come on, we don't really need. Do we really need anything? Because that's not what. There was very little dialogue. There was more of a conflict with Han and Leia, and they did speak about their relationship with one another, but it was still anyway. But with Anakin and Padme, I think what is this guy's name? I think is Anomaly Inc. I think that's his name. YouTuber. He makes some interesting defenses for the prequels, but his read of the relationship was what made Padme attracted to Anakin was his openness, as opposed to the politicians that she's used to dealing with are always two-faced. They're always in it for themselves, trying to, gain votes, power, money, whatever. They're always, two-faced. They never make true in their promises. And we do see a little bit of that in Phantom Menace and a wee bit of that in Attack of the Clones. A lot of it in Revenge of the Sith. But with Anakin, he's very, open about how he feels about things. He speaks his mind, and she appreciates that. She finds out okay, he's not afraid to say something, even if it's kind of dumb.
It's creepy and weird.
Yeah, because he does speak his mind. He does disagree with her, and he's not afraid to say that I disagree with you on this. When they're talking about politics, he's basically, I think your entire system is bullshit. I think we should have a dictatorship. Yeah, that's it. And he's and I genuinely do love the way that line goes. He's well, what did he say? Well, if it works, or something to that effect, when he's talking about the dictatorship.
I forget. I haven't seen that scene in a while.
Hey, we have the reference. Yes. Well, if it works, he says it.
He said, "Make it so."
And that scene where they're actually on the in the open fields and they're just talking about shit. I think that's fine. I think that's why no one. I think that's why no one really had a problem with that scene, because no one ever brings that particular scene up because they're in an actual environment. They're actually just talking about shit, and it's I just feel like you're wrong about everything, Padme. You're hot though, but you're fucking wrong, and I think I'm right. And she's like, oh wow, okay, okay, well, fine, whatever. And they roll around a bit in the hay. I don't know. I don't have a problem with I hate sand. I'm sorry. I mean, everything that's wrong with Attack of the Clones is not in that particular scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're in an actual environment. Again, they go to an actual place, an actual old-style place with I don't even know if the mountains are real. I couldn't even tell. Real lake. I'm assuming it's a real lake or river. I couldn't tell. It looks real enough for 2002. And you can see Hayden. He's just picking at the railing because it's all flaky because the paint's old. And he's whatever. Everything over there is tattooing fucking sucks, but everything here is nice and smooth. So there's something. He's working with the environment, and these are the things that people say would have made the movie better if there were more actual physical sets. And it seems like all the scenes where there are physical sets and they're just doing their thing, I think it works. It's just how all of it comes together is pretty bad. A line of dialogue I think is actually way worse than I hate sand. I don't know why no one picked up on this. I hate this line. It's when it's the fireside scene when they're talking about their feelings. And Anakin is just like, I wish I could wish away my feelings. You wish you could wish away wishing well? Kiss and tell? What are you talking about, Anakin? What do you mean? You said the same line twice, or word twice. Pick a different word, George. Was that improv? Do it again. Faster and more intense. That line sucked. I don't know why that one isn't infamous. That's pretty bad. It's a pretty the reason why it's bad is that's a rookie mistake. Having someone say the same word to mean the same thing.
I think the sand line is just so good out of context.
Yeah.
Like, it's the basis of just like, the weird thing someone said. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's just, I don't know. I feel like everyone just uses that particular line when they're worse examples. Mm-hmm. That's just way more, that's just Anakin relating to his,
I think
where he came from.
Him saying, I killed them, like when he does that whole, speech, like way, kind of goofier.
I don't know. I might have to watch it again because I don't know. He actually looked like that. He fucking was upset with himself. Like Hayden's good at just doing the facial expression because his lip is quivering and all. That's hard to fake. Mm-hmm. Like when you're actually emotional, you cannot stop that from happening.
It's just like the cadence, the way he speaks. I think is what
I think it's kind of. He's Canadian.
Yeah,
it's not. They all sound that way. You ever watch Degrassi?
No.
They all sound like that. Here's our favorite fellow.
Oh,
2019. I'm supposed to be on a starship by now, conversing with intelligent robots, studying on what sort of body I'd like to upload my immortal consciousness to. Instead, we're still on this fucking rock wondering how to placate the white working class. I'll never forget the troglodytes that stole the future I earned to prolong their worthless existence.
Jesus Christ. What a champ.
Man.
That quote with that thumbnail, of that profile picture.
Yeah, I kind of went over Movie Bob a bit, way back in 2016 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the joke I made in that, I think it was my Mary Jane. No, it was my Wonder Woman video. Sorry, I'm getting my stupid stuff mixed up. But I made a joke about how much he tweets because I was trying to find a very specific tweet. I just couldn't find because he tweets so much. I think someone has actually calculated how many times he's tweeted. I think since he's had the account, I think it's 200,000 tweets.
Wow.
Let me actually see if I can.
That reminds me of Spoonie, because he just tweets and tweets and tweets. Okay.
I was actually going back our old videos when we talked about Spoonie. It's man, it's crazy how bad it's gotten for Spoonie. And that was I think it was 2015, 2016. Yeah. Little did we know how bad it would fucking get. And now he's homeless.
Yeah. He's in a bad situation. Hopefully he can do something to get him out of this. But that would require him to do something.
I don't know what it is. What was it about Channel Awesome? All of them just seemed insane.
I mean,
kind of insane.
I
don't know what is right. Lindsay Ellis. Linkara. Are you saying that I'm insane? Oh, I'm the light bringer. The lesson bringer. When I teach you a lesson, you won't soon forget.
Doug Walker's the only kind of.
Yeah.
He's weird, but he's also the most normal of them, and
Juario.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man. Sheesh. Obscura Slupa. She's fucking insane. Someone vaguely mentioned. Angry Joe's just kind of a okay fool, but he's not I don't know if he's crazy.
When he tried to
one up Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's fucking with me.
He just comes up on screen
yeah. I fucking love when he stops and comes with a drink. Okay, you can see right here. He's fucking with me.
I wish our weathermen did that. They just come up on screen. There's a fucking tornado about to fucking destroy everything. They're just see, it's fucking with us. So Bob has been very excited, singing the praises of the newest MCU release, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Chicken Wings. And I say Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken, because Bob has apparently had some kind of stroke of some sort because he's changed his Twitter handle to like Kurosawa, I make mad, which is a line from the Bare Naked Ladies song. I don't. It's the one that that goes. Yeah, man, it's that one.
Oh yeah, 1 week.
Well, yeah, 1 week. There we go. I'm sorry, I don't. So he changed it to that because someone was making fun of one of his Twitter friends because they had a hot take on Kurosawa films because they watched Zack Snyder's Justice League extended whatever, and they were liking it to Kurosawa's long films, and Kurosawa's influenced a lot of directors, George Lucas being a very prominent example of that. And so they just sort of took like a sledgehammer to like a fucking legend of filmmaking because I don't like this movie, that's long. Okay. Yikes, sorry. And someone found one of their tweets where they praised Avengers Endgame for how complete and epic and long it was. So everyone's like, oh, I see. You have what we call shit taste. All right. And so to defend his Twitter friend, because it was semi-viral, he changed his handle name thing to like Kurosawa, I make mad. He cut off Mad Films, which was the complete line, and to just mad because everyone was mad. But your friend was mad at Kurosawa, so that doesn't work. You tried. So that's why his name is like that. I felt like I needed to explain it because if I didn't explain it, you wouldn't get it. But having explained it, I don't think that's, I don't get it either. Anyway. And one thing you noticed, because it's not really what he's tweeting that's important here. It really isn't. It's just the fact that he keeps using the hashtag Chang-Chi, little Chang-Chi emoji, Chang-Chi man, and Chang-Chi, hit the emoji again, and hold on, let's see, and hold on. Oh, well, he's not really talking about the movie there, but here we go. Let me see. Does he bring it up? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He does that like a lot when he talks about Shang-Chi because he's trying to make sure the movie has a lot of traction. In his review of Shang-Chi, he, no joke, I don't know if you saw it, but he actually recommended you buy the fucking plushie merchandise product. This abhorrent looking fucking thing.
Oh, what is that fucking thing?
I think his name is Morris. It's based off of like Chinese mythology, so that's why it looks weird. I think Appa from The Last Airbender was based off of this mythological creature, but you can get the plushie in stores now.
This whole movie just flew over my head
because because it can fly.
I just don't know. I don't even know who Shang-Chi is. Yeah,
I didn't really much care for it either when it was announced.
And when I saw this, I was like, oh, they're just making movies for the Asian market.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fuck. I don't want no trouble. I don't want no trouble.
There's a video that May64 did, or Rocco did, and it's just called, the title of it is just one about White Panther. And Rocco comes in and says, I got an idea. And they're like, no, look, we read the title of the video, it's not going to work. And they're like, oh, not even that? No, seriously, just don't do it.
Precisely. Yeah, so he's been really in love with the movie, promoting it, and I'm not quite sure why he's so crazy. I don't really know. I don't know what he's getting out of it, because I don't want to call him a shill because I don't have any evidence for it. But it's like, yeah, you kind of look like one. Sorry, it's like when you call someone a brainstem. It's like, I don't literally mean you're just a brainstem, but sheesh, man, come on, man. Those are his pinned tweets. I'll stay away from anything particularly spicy because I don't really give that much of a fuck about politics. I think it's cringe and dumb and stupid. I don't care. I don't care about this. I don't care about this. I don't care about this. Oh no. That's pretty Kino, kind of. Look, the shots are similar.
I don't get it.
Well, there's nothing to get. That's just what he loves, this sort of speculation like thing. What are they going to do next? Are they going to do this? What does this mean? Did you miss this? Top 10 things you missed. He loves that kind of stuff. Like, honestly, outside the Game Over thinker, his entire channel was built on that like discussion of the movie. So, of movies and everything. He's like, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? And that's fine if you want to do that, but that's his thing. In fact, that's why he's actually working for Film Theory, MatPat Game Theory, all them. Yeah, I think they're a perfect match. I'm actually really happy for him that he's able to find such kindred spirits, because I feel the same way about them. Like, you guys are just, what if the thing that you thought was the opposite?
Fucking annoying. Like, MatPat literally making a whole video. It's like, what would win if you hit a lightsaber with the Master Chief Energy Sword? What would happen?
I actually think that's better, because it's like, that's never gonna fucking happen. Why not? And it's like, it might happen. I think the reason why I picked out that particular tweet was because Movie Bob. Okay, so one of the actors, I think the main actor from Shang-Chi, actually posted an image on his social media of all of the, like, the quartering types in a collage of will Shang-Chi flop, will Shang-Chi flop. And he's, sorry, I didn't mean to fuck up the word flop there. And he was like, ha ha ha, it didn't, because it's probably just going to do fine, all things considered. And the people in that collage, you can kind of see it there. You can see the quartering's avatar in the screenshot.
Yeah.
Those are all Bob's least favorite YouTubers. But what I think burns him deep down inside is that that's more attention that they've gotten from the filmmakers than he ever will. And he's been hashtag Shang-Chi, hashtag Shang-Chi, hashtag Shang-Chi, hashtag cha-ching for weeks. He's been crazy about this movie. And no one cares but me and a couple of other autists. So that kind of sucks. And I think that's why he's really mad. And I think this is kind of lame because, I mean, Bob, all day you sit around speculating about like pop culture bullshit, most of which doesn't even come true. And most of which isn't even, I mean, part of the enjoyment of just watching the movie is just, okay, what does this movie do? What does it try to achieve? All that stuff. Not just, what are they going to do in this movie? What are they going to do for this? What are they going to do for that? Like, okay, but the point is, you obsess over those things. We like to talk about those things. We are all in this more or less together. And I guess the one thing I can't stand is when you dedicate basically your entire life to this, and when someone does the same thing but has the opposite opinion of you, you go, hey, have you ever seen someone more pathetic?
Yeah.
I mean, why are you talking about this fucking movie? What's wrong with you? By the way, buy the merchandise. Buy the merchandise. If we're all just based off the fact that we're all talking about this crap, just based off of that, if that makes them losers, then you are too. Because at the very least, they are forwarding their own brand of anti-SJW, ness. That's their thing. They forward anti-SJW-ness. The end goal of that, the actual structure of it, nobody knows, nobody cares, but it is a reaction to the mainstream. That's their own brand. Movie Bob is just forwarding the brand of Disney, Marvel, woke culture, nerd culture, anti-capitalism, racism. That's his thing. So I think you guys are both equally pathetic based off that. But I don't like, just going around calling people like pathetic, liberally like that. But just based off of that, that's what you all do. That's what you're all into.
I think you would know at this point. You've watched the entirety of his body of work.
Yes. Actually, I think I have, yes. Sometimes I watch it as like background noise when I'm working on stuff. I did the same thing with Linkara. Like someone make the story compilations of atop the fourth wall. I listen to it as background noise when I'm very well. And they're just going on, oh, they must hate it because, they're Asian. But he's been sucking this movie stick like nonstop. So
yeah,
if hating the movie for super reasons, it's like whatever. But I don't know. I don't like it when like pathetic people call other pathetic people pathetic for just doing what you're doing, but opposite opinion.
Yeah,
I just think that's
it's literally like YouTubers fighting over stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm actually I'm pretty indifferent to Shang-Chi. But this is what I technically asked for back in 2016. I'm like, hey, don't just change the race of the characters. Pick one from the comics that is that race and push that.
Yeah.
And they did.
I just don't know anything about them.
Yeah. They did it with Black Panther, did it with Shang-Chi, and okay, that's what I asked for. You're welcome, everyone who is supporting this movie. It wouldn't have happened without people like me. Sorry. You're welcome, Arthur Chu. You're welcome, honey, sweetie. You're welcome, Arthur. Yeah, movie Bob, he's going places. And I'm proud of him.
Is he? But then he used to work someplace and he got fired.
Technically, the contract expired. No. Excuse me. Wait, I'm talking. Wait, the contract expired. Okay, I was not fired. The contract expired. Okay, all right.
Or is it The Escapist?
Yes. Good for you for being picked up by Film Theory, I guess. Good for you. I'm proud of you. Keep working at it, Movie Bob. One day you'll make that movie, and you'll prove all of us wrong. Let me see. Can I actually see the number of tweets he's actually made? Oh, it doesn't tell you. Yeah, it doesn't actually tell you.
How many tweets?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Oh my god, and you might like Lindsay Ellis. Yes. Ooh, thank you, Twitter. Thank you so much. That is just fucking beautiful. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Congratulations to Lindsay Ellis, New York Times bestselling influencer of Aximums and Truth of the Divine, out October 12th, 50% off at musical blah, 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 blah. She's got a book or two. Congratulations, Lindsay. I'm so proud of you. I know I called you crazy just earlier, but good for you.
You don't have to be sane to write a book.
Yeah. Movie Bob's written a couple of books too.
I'm gonna keep saying that you don't have to be sane to get a book out there.
That's the infamous one, Brick by Brick, where he's like,
oh yeah,
the console wars were my Vietnam.
Boston bases.
Two towers. Where did they go? Make sure you're always asking questions. I think that's all I have. I'm trying to bleed this rock here, so I don't want to. Oh yeah, this is base. Go on, world, hurt each other, kill each other, do anything you want. I just don't care anymore. Yeah,
this is your Spider-Man says I can do this.
Spidey cops out. Now this is woke as fuck. Based and spider pilled, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, web pilled.
What? I didn't plan this. Fucking poggers. Holy fuck. Alright, so I think that's it.
Yeah. That was a pretty successful return to the podcast.
Yes, I can't wait to edit this fucking thing. Thank you for being here with me.
Absolutely.
I hope this was a fun experience at the very least.
It's always fun coming down here, Reggie.
Yeah, I hope I didn't talk too much because I kind of, once again, I've been hanging on to some thoughts for a while. So I'm sorry, I'm just going to turn.
You were all welled up.
Thank you guys for sticking with me and sticking up for me. And yeah.
Thank everyone for listening.
Thank you. All right. That is... Oh, my fucking Patreon. And make sure you hit the bell so you always know when a new video is coming in the next 5 years. Okay? And buy my merch. Buy that merch. Buy that merch. Buy that merch. Buy some Morrison merch. Hold on, let me check my Cash App. Yep. Yeah. Okay, we're good. I'll give it.